Hi guys, Sandra here from Createinspain. I apologise for any background noise. It's absolutely chucking it down here. We've had torrential rain, thunder, lightning, all the rest of it. And my husband is downstairs watching a movie, so if you hear anything in the background, that's probably what it is. So anyway, this is a combination project and I was just having a bit of fun. So I have here a shape which I've cut out from 3mm laminated wood. And it's been cut out on the Shapeoko CNC. However, this was also done on my silver bullet, my plotter. So what I actually did was I took one of the designs that I had and I drew this with a pen on my silver bullet. Now, if I had a pen attached to my CNC machine, I could probably have worked out how to do that as well. But since I've got a plotter upstairs, I thought, well, just do it on my plotter and have done with it. So I did that. And what I did was, when I made the file, I created a bounding box around it and I marked the bottom left corner of the bounding box, and when I was drawing this with a pen, I drew this cross on that left corner of the bounding box because the CNC software for a registration mark needs the bottom left, whereas my cutter software uses the bottom right. CNC software uses the bottom left. Or various other places, I think, on the left and in the middle, but not on the bottom right. Virtually everywhere but the bottom right. So that enabled me to draw on the wood, actually with my silver bullet, so no problem drawing on wood with that. And then I took it downstairs and got it cut with the CNC machine. So having done that, I brought it back upstairs and I used some alcohol markers to colour it in. And when I say alcohol markers, I'm talking about these sorts of things, okay? So similar to Copics, just a heck of a lot cheaper. You can get all sorts of brands of alcohol markers, from the very cheap to the very expensive, and it's entirely your choice. So then, once I've coloured it, I thought, well, I'll varnish it because it's my intention to have it as a keyring, and it's pretty sturdy, it's pretty tough. And I designed it with a hole in the top, so that was fine. So I varnished it, but to be honest, I'm not overly keen on the varnish job that I did on it. I have a couple of items that I've cut from 3mm plywood, and they are Christmas tree decorations. Now, this is a snowflake that I have given a basic coat of silver acrylic paint, and then I've just sponged it over with a gold acrylic, so you get a kind of varied tone on it. This one, however, I have used something entirely different. Now, this may be of interest to those of you who have a CNC type hobby, and maybe you want to investigate different finishes. This is something that you may not have come across if that is your particular interest. It is more of a crafting, paper crafting type option, but I thought it would be interesting to see what happened. And what I've done with this one is I've actually heat embossed it with gold embossing powder. Now, for those of you not familiar with embossing powder, what you do is you use something like this, which is a clear, transparent, colourless, sticky ink pad. And you put it over the surface of whatever it is that you want to decorate. And then you take a powder and you literally coat it in the powder. Now, this is a heat embossing powder. It's very fine. This is a mix that I made up myself, but it has gold and clear and some glitter in it and all sorts of things. But you can buy all sorts of different colours and textures of embossing powders. And crafters, paper crafters use them a lot. You don't need very much to do quite a large area which is great. So you make this sticky by using the ink pad. You then either dunk it in a container or you spoon a load of powder over it, tap off the excess, and then you use a heat tool to melt it onto the item. Now, a word of caution, if you have a workshop and you have a heat tool that you use for removing paint from window frames or whatever, no, that's not quite what I had in mind. It's probably a bit too strong. As crafters use what we call a heat gun like this. This one came from Lidl, and although it gets hot, I can't imagine it gets anywhere near as hot as the DIY versions do. So you heat it up slightly first, and then you just melt the powder onto the decorative item. It provides a really nice protective surfaces, lots of colour in different cases. It can be lots of glitz as well. But it saves you the aggravation of having to paint, which is also rather nice. I did one coat on the back here and I did 2 coats on the front. So that is an alternative for anyone who's doing CNC small projects. It's an alternative to using a paintbrush. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Take care now. Bye.